inventing others to try and make up for it.
Yeah, Lee Whitnell said, God only knows what Momo was thinking as Fafita broke the line and thundered towards him in the first minute, but I was in row D and I certainly shat my pants. Wakey looked great in that opening few minutes, but lost grip on the game, and wire pressure eventually found defensive holes. There were plenty of errors from both sides, with the bright sun causing problems. Not a classic, but a good win. Saints next. Gulp.
Yeah, and we concentrated our chat around the interesting Friday night conversation, and we want people's views on that actually for some feedback to chat about on future shows. Don't have loads to say about the game because it looked like another scrappy one. We didn't have full stats, but when I was looking at the stats before I realised there was a player missing from one of the sides, it did look
awkward.
Yeah, it did look very similar, though, Sarah, to the stats from the St Helens game, and the scoreline looks similar, and the pattern of the game looks similar in some ways as well. So I think most of the things we said that applied to St Helens applied to Warrington in this game, and what Mike and Lee have told us there kind of support that as well.
So all in all, it's going to be an appalling match next week then?
Well, I think it's going to be fantastic, but I hope it is fantastic. Certainly, Darryl Clark being back in this game, and he got the 3 Man of Steel points, and he jumps off on the stats. Now, I've only seen very little of this game, and I'm sure you've seen just as little, so it's hard to talk about the overall game, but it seems like he was a good player. Well done to him being back and making an influence. It also seems like Declan Patton is having a growing influence on the game. And Warrington just roll on, and I don't think there's much more we need to say about them. What about Wakefield? You said Cass, what's going on with them? What's going on with Wakefield? 5 defeats in a row. I know they've had some injuries too, but shall I just run through this side? Ryan Hampshire, yep. Ben Jones-Bishop, Reece Lynn, Jack Croft, okay, that's a young kid coming in. Mason Caton-Brown, that's a Super League player. Miller, Brough, England, Crowther at hooker, yeah, there's your big problem. But Tanganoa, Paulie, Fafita, George King, then on the bench Kyle Wood, Craig Kopchak and Keegan Hurst, and then Titus Guaze as well, making his debut. To be honest, I mean, Keegan Hurst, I'm not sure he can consistently perform at Super League. I think that's kind of been seen now after 2 seasons. But Craig Kopchak's a Super League player. Kyle Wood's been a great performer for Trinity. That's not a shit side. That shouldn't be a side that doesn't show up, and it seems like they didn't show up again.
Yeah.
Are you worried about their form if you were a Trin fan?
I'd be really worried, yeah, because they just keep losing.
Yeah, you don't really see where the turnaround's coming. I struggle to see where the turnaround's coming from. Yeah.
Because as you say, it's not like you can say, oh well, they've got 18 injuries, and when they get a few of those back, they'll look better. Because
they've still got some players out, but they've got some quality players who've come in. And Fafita was back, and last week the talk was, well, yeah, but Fafita's been out, hasn't he? So when he's going to
yeah, and they've got Paulie back, haven't they? They've got both the halfbacks back.
Exactly. Once Kyle Wood came off the bench, they had their first choice spine.
Yeah.
And to score no points with your first choice spine on the field, that's a worry for me. That's a problem.
Definitely.
Right, okay. Sounds like you need waking up, Sarah. So what we're going to do now is talk about the final game of the Super League weekend, which I'm sure you will have lots of exciting things to say about. Take us the distance like Ratu Nwongo, Sarah.
So, yeah, over in the south of France on Saturday, it was Catalan 10, Hull FC 50, in front of a crowd of 10,254, and Robert Hicks was the referee. At half-time, it was Catalan 10, Hull FC 26. Stats-wise, Hull FC had a big 432 more metres, made it a huge 1.7 metre per carry better average gain, with 12 clean breaks to 3 by Catalan. One obvious issue for Catalans was tackling. An 84% tackle success rate is a bad number.
And that's the tackles they actually got to the person on.
Yeah. In terms of individuals, Josh Griffin, with 2 tries, 1 try assist, 11 tackle busts, 190 metres and 3 clean breaks. Outside him was Ratu Nwongo with 1 try, 1 try assist, 12 tackle busts and 188 metres and 4 clean breaks. On the other side, Beretta Farema with 1 try assist, 5 tackle busts and 121 metres. And Kieran Buchanan with his first Super League try and 107 metres. For Catalans, Braden Williami made 141 metres and Julian Busquet made 100 metres.
Malkarma Tios said, 50 at home, Karma. Last game surely for stupid coach Steves. Lost the dressing room, ? Lost the plot, more like. It's a fucking embarrassment.
Tom Andrews said, if you've seen that meme of a blind cartoon dog in a room on fire saying everything is fine, that's basically me this week.
AK Steel 69 said, whisper it quietly, but are the Rocks and Diamonds team of Super League finally getting their rocks off and polishing up the diamonds in time for some silverware? Hull produced their most complete performance of the season against Catalans, who were up for a battle until becoming demoralised. Is Jake the best centre in Super League since Lyon? Is Griff back to his England conversation form? Well, your coach certainly thinks so, AK Steel. Is Sneyd a player that would improve any Super League team?
Paige said, thought after the first 10 minutes this was going to be a really tough match as we didn't seem to be in the game at all. Catalan seemed to be all over us, but then out of nowhere things started to click and that was it. Great performance from all of the boys, especially in that heat. Roll on Thursday, bet Rovers are shitting themselves.
Paul Chamberlain said, Catalans are rapidly looking like a bunch of highly paid mercenaries the wrong side of 30, which is odd given that's exactly what they are. After dishing up 50 to Salford at home, the Challenge Cup win is a long gone in the rearview mirror and Mac Banana needs to be put down. Fair play to Hull. Still not sure they aren't a bit shy, but they might well be the best after Saints and Wire.
Joshua's granddad said so many good things about the FC. Griff awesome both in second row and centre. Ratu going in from 180,000 yards out. Long time since a newcomer to the sport looked this good. Albie scoring a try going backwards. Big French forwards neutralised. Oh, how David Mead must regret his cock-up.
And Always in Our Shadow said, well, that went well for Dunkwater. Prepare to get your arse handed to you on Thursday. Griffin looked like he was in those last 2 mins of the £1 million game. Unplayable. After Ratboy got lucky, the black and white machine rolled over the Frenchies. First try in black and white for Sav and Buchanan. Sneyd calling the shots and the rest of the team delivering. Allay, allay, allay. Yeah, your boys like getting their first tries in the South.
Yeah.
We had some earlier in the season as well.
Wynn and Brown, wasn't it, in the first match? Yeah.
Right. I only saw the tries, and boy, some of those tries were good. But talk to me a bit more about how this came about, because it looks like it was close for the first half an hour.
Yeah, it was. Tompkins scored. I actually thought Tompkins had a really good game on the hill for Catalans, despite the fact that I really don't like him.
He was left on an island at fullback, it seems, like the guys in front of him.
Yeah. Again, I think I said last time I was on that, my review from last week, Yaha is their sort of attack option. And again, it seemed to be that that's what they were trying to go for this time. Kelly, once we started scoring, we sort of did well. We had the 14 or so minutes before half time where we scored 3 tries to their 1. And we tend to have that sort of 10, 15 minute patch where we score 3 tries. But then it was a case of, okay, are we going to hang on in the... you sort of thought we probably would hang on in the second half, but you worried that it was only going to be hanging on. But instead we came out and scored another 4 tries. So, can't complain about that.
Some real long range effort tries in that. I mean, you've been doing this for a month now, scoring from range.
Yeah, which is something I never associate with Hull. I mean, Griffin's break where he then passed to Sneyd, who had the presence of mind just to bat the ball onto Farema before he got smacked.
That was forward though, weren't it? It was, weren't it?
I think it was flat.
But it was a great play. If it was not forward, it was the try of the week.
And then him finishing it off, it was special. And then, Ratu taking the ball in his in goal, and you're thinking, come on, just get out of your in goal. And then he goes past 3 players in the in goal and then runs the length of the field. It's pretty special. Yeah,
and apparently 12 seconds it took him to go that whole distance, which is he is a quick player. Like the question mark over him will be similar to the ones you raised about Faremo in a way. It's his defensive positioning and sometimes his hands, but he's learning and
But
he is
defensively, he
fast.
makes some massive hits.
Yeah, strong bone bloke, isn't he? You
Yeah.
can see that. You can see that from how broad his shoulders are.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the situation with the army is.
Yeah, if you can like quit to be a full-time professional longer term.
Yeah, but yeah, he's pretty special. Buchanan, he had a poor game the other week, but
Yeah, he played at. Did he play at Magic Weekend?
yeah, I mean, he wasn't the only one that had a poor game then.
No. Can you believe that was only a month ago? Like since then,
insane, isn't it?
since then you've been a totally different side, and that's when you started scoring all the. Maybe you took something from what Huddersfield were able to do to you, and
Maybe.
learned some moves. But look, Griffin, you started by talking about that him. He was the star of the show. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely, he was outstanding.
A little bit of centre, a little bit of second row, and the AK Steele, Mr. Steele asked the question about his England conversation. Well, you've got to say the more he can perform in different positions, the more he's got a shot of getting back into that. When he does play like that, he can be unstoppable.
Yeah, he terrified that side of the Catalan defence. Every time he got the ball, they didn't know what to do. He was just breaking through at will.
And well, and it doesn't hurt, does it? That did he have Connor outside him?
Yes, because we had Ratu, Connor, and Griff on one side,
And Kelly.
Yes,
So you're talking two of the most sort of off the cuff, high caliber talents. I mean, that offload back inside from your son and your husband do Magic, right?
Yeah.
Have they been has Jake Connor been down the Magic circle? Because that offloaded through to Nalongo for was it Kelly's try? I don't even see how the ball came out.
Yeah, it was insane, wasn't it? But then it was the same at Cass last week. That pass out the back as well.
Yeah, he's all over it. He's all over it at the moment.
Yeah, he's playing with such confidence. And, yeah, I mean, I thought it was definitely Savelio's best match for us.
Starting to find his like, obviously, he came in, got injured. Now he's had, three or four games in a row where he's had some minutes. Is he starting to build up more time, is he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and he does look
with
like...
Josh Bowden and Chris Green now starting to get more game time too, which is a positive, because earlier in the season, when you were still on that losing run from last season, you had no props. Now you've got that, haven't you? Which
is good.
And Kelly and Connor are running riot off the back of that.
Yeah, definitely. It's funny because it's a match that I would say, apart from Griffin, I don't think our forwards were that impressive. But yeah, obviously,
It needs to be.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it was insane. It really was good, impressive.
So, of all them amazing tries, all the long range stuff, all the razzle dazzle, did you have one that stands out as your highlight moment?
I think. No, I'm going to have two. The Griffin one that we've just spoken about, that you've questioned the legality of, just because it was just beautiful play. The support play there was nice, but then also the Ratu one, just for the fact that it was properly the length of the field. It was special.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see him actually. A couple of weeks ago we said, it'd be nice to see him get a break, and now
he can't stop.
This is it. Yeah.
He's stretching them legs out, and he's probably got the longest stride in Super League as well.
Yeah, and yet the other week after the match, he was there taking the protection, the padding off the purse and dragging it out down to the tunnel.
What?
Yeah, after a home match.
Is he paid extra for that?
Well, maybe that's what he has to do to be able to play. I don't know. But
he's on the volunteers. Yeah, he's a volunteer corps. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just thought, what a lovely thing to see. Like, no airs and graces. There we are. I'm tidying up.
No, wow. He's a guy who can tell a story. Last weekend and this weekend coming up.